I will never be in a relationship with a man that have no money.
Respect to that, because that's honesty. You know, you're not gonna live with a guy under a tarp on the street because you love him. He's got to provide, and so all this argument we see online these days about the men being so defensive about their money. Okay, true. There's scams like we just talked about, and there's women who, you know, want to be taken care of more than they want to help take care of him. But there's a balance there, and yeah, you wouldn't have dated me no matter how good looking I am.
Yeah.
If I didn't have something for us to build upon going forward.
Yeah, I don't.
And the same, I wouldn't date you just for love. You know, I wanted children. I want a family.
Yeah.
So that's the trade-off. She's brought something very serious to the table, our babies. And she brought the first one before we was even married. So she was like all in before she even had the ring. Are you wearing your ring?
All the time. Your ring?
All the time. We are about to have a fight. Rolling with the rollers. You should have your own money.
Sometimes, not specifically I want my own money. Sometimes if I just want something, if I want something and I don't want to, you know, to ask from you, like I can freely get it without asking.
What's triggering for me about that comment is the money that I earn, I consider to be ours, not mine. So we're using personal experience, and I want to talk from personal experience, not overgeneralize anything. In my experience and in my philosophy, what's mine is ours. And I do take offense to this whole concept in relationships of my money. And you see it a lot these days in modern relationships where females, and I'm going to generalize, okay, where women will be like, I don't want to be in a relationship or married and dependent on a man. I want to have my own money. So then she gets a job, and then she gets her own bank account, and that's her money. And it comes back to the old joke, you know, what's mine is hers, and what's hers is hers. Yeah, you totally agree with that. And you if you put that online, you're going to get all the girls saying, "You go, girl," right?
Get that.
Well, for me, and this is for some other guys too, as a breadwinner in the family, I see it clearly as our money and not mine. I don't have my own separate bank account or my own separate stash that I'm using to go drinking with the boys or golfing or out partying or anything like that. If we need something as a family, or even you need it personally, I got it. You know, I got it. However, that does put me in charge. That does put me in control. And that goes back to what I think is what you're saying, but you're not saying, which kind of triggers me, which is you don't want to have to ask me for anything. It's not really so much about the money. It's about power. It's about having personal power and personal autonomy and not being beholden to someone to say, hey, you know, can I have, you know, whatever, right?
Well, yeah, would you like a girl who will ask?
My personal experience, where I'm at in life at my age, I don't mind being asked. With 2 children that we have,
you can say no.
Yeah, okay. This is just me, but now that we have 2 children, I am thinking about the future. My mind is 30 years from now, where she and our children are going to be in 30 years from now. So the money, the dollar we spend now is a dollar that we're not going to have down the road when it matters. So I'm hyper responsible with money. And I do get these jittery feelings when, you know, you get allowance and you got a lot of money and it's like you're just going to go shopping. Because if I may, in my personal experience, you have pulled some bad moves. You got scammed on the purse. You talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
You lent your mom big bucks and never got it back. So I'm sorry, but I think in a family, someone has to call the shots financially. Well, it didn't take long. It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th,
for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized, hate everything about me and what I provide, and decide to leave. Yeah, welcome to the shittiest post that I'm ever going to make. There's a lot to it, and I'm not going to go into it, okay? But suffice to say, after providing and going on the Disney World trip, which included the funeral for my mom, I got up to day 6, I think, on that, because it all broke down at Magic Kingdom. Fucking ironic. And I didn't post anything after that, because when we got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia, I was greeted with the announcement from Jayanne that she wanted a separation. And then I discovered through text that she had been discussing this with her family and making plans to also take the children. So, that's heavy, right? That's a nuke. And I'm gonna go into my bunker. So I came downstairs in my nice 4-story mansion and just stayed by myself through Christmas Eve and through Christmas Day. And I missed Christmas with my children. My in-laws, my mother and my father-in-law, and Jayanne, they proceeded to open the presents without me. Presents all of which I bought. Yeah, the separation is a separation. I'm lucky enough to have a big house, and the logistics of it can be met right away, but I spent Christmas utterly by myself. And it's coming up on New Year's Eve, and I'm still alone. Because there's no communication from her. Why? Because she's communicating with her parents. She has the total backing and validation of her parents. Plus TikTok. All external sources of validation, and it's my position, my feelings are not relevant. She's got it figured out. She's got a plan. I'm waiting to hear what the plan is, and we'll see what happens from that point. But I'm pretty I'm at peace with what has occurred, what could occur. I am done being Mr. Fix-It. Fix-It Felix. I'm not going to be the simp, nice guy, Fix-It Felix anymore. A relationship takes 2 people. And she made the decision for the separation. She's made the announcement and made plans with family to take our children back to the Philippines. And she's an adult. She has accountability. It's on her to come to me and explain to me what her plan is, such that it is, and what can be done about it. So, surprise, no more countdown with the great fun in Disney World. It was a fucking disaster. And, that's the truth. Social media is not about the truth, but I'm about the truth, so that's what I give you. Thanks. Woke up this morning to almost 1,400 comments on my last post about my wife requesting a separation. And the only thing I'm going to say about that right now, and not get into any details, although I know you all want to, hear more of the story, is that the reason I went public with what's going on. And I did that because I believe in this situation, transparency is the most important thing. I think it's the most important thing in any problem. Just be honest. Now, we've gotten to this point because there's been a little bit of dishonesty from Jayanne in the form of texting with her family and people behind my back, discussing things that she really should have just come to me with first. That was our agreement from the beginning of our relationship. We've struggled with it, and that deal was broken, and so I'm not talking to anybody behind her back. I'm talking about our problem to the world, so that there's no mistake that I am sincere and authentic in everything that I think and feel. I may not be right, and I'm probably not right in a lot of cases along the path that has gotten to this point. And I will be the first to admit my mistakes where I'm somewhat the bad guy. But overall, transparency is the key. And this is the new digital age we live in. This is a form of communication. Jayan and I are not talking. And maybe it'll make things worse. Maybe it'll make things better. I don't know. But at this point, I just want a way forward without me making unilateral decisions and pulling triggers. Right? So stay tuned, because I would love nothing more than for Jayan to come online with me and say what she wants, to, you know, tell us her plan, right? To see where this can be fixed, if it's fixable at all. Honesty and authenticity. That's all I want. Thanks. So a couple of my videos have gone viral. I'm the guy who is separated from his Americanized Filipino wife. Yeah, I'm Chad to Dad. I'm a grandiose narcissist who had a dream, and it was to turn my life around and not be stacking bodies, and I wanted to be a dad. You know, it happened late in life because I was married for a very long time prior to that, and it didn't happen. So, you know, go do your digging and you'll meet my ex-wife and you'll get all the drama. But the drama seems to be centered around two narratives. One narrative, I'm a sick, creepy, oppressive, controlling, rich bastard who uses my power, influence, wisdom, and wealth to control an innocent, naive, dumb, third world woman. And the second narrative is, I'm the victim of a manipulative, conniving, long game playing gold digger. What's missing from all this is the real narrative, our story, our love. Yeah, we have problems, but we have a lot of love. And we're putting it out there because it needs to be told. All right? And it is helping us. Jayan watches her supporters and I watch my supporters. And we come back to the table and say, okay, you know, are we just fucking walking memes? Or do we have our own identities? And we're united in fighting for our own identities. So, you know, thanks for the views. It ain't going to change what happens. It's all projection of folks' own hatreds and prejudices and experiences in life. But this is its own, and you're welcome to keep watching if you'd like. And we'll watch back, okay? Bye, thanks. My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean. In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, and especially to the government, I'm not happy. And if she drops the word abused or anything along those lines, the American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any allegations that she makes. And the man's side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil, controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude. And the narrative quickly, instantly becomes me bad, she victim. So the fight that we're having, that's still there. Okay, that's always going to hang over my head. I'm a passport bro. I brought her here. I married her here. I signed all the government forms saying that I will support her for a minimum of 10 or 1,000 years. I don't know. I don't even know what I signed. And all you dudes out there who have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Americanized means weaponization of the male-female relationship to benefit the female, because family court is not a judicial system, it's a corporation. For profit, digging into the pockets of dads, of men. Because, yeah, we're in a patriarchal system and men still have most of the money. Now, that's exactly what's true in our relationship. She doesn't have any money. I have all the money. And it's, a relationship can go south when the woman has lost love for her man and she's just going for the bag. And if she goes for the bag, she's going to get a huge portion of that. That's what I mean by Americanized. Jayan is solidly Filipina, and that comes with a lot of stuff. And one of those things is she's going to be fiercely defensive for her family, her mom and dad. And this whole fight is hinging on the fact that I disrespected her mom and dad. Never mind that they disrespected me too. We'll get into that later. But Jayan is not Americanized in that she's materialistic or even greedy. But she senses and she knows the support that she would get if things really got ugly between us. The American system is on her side, not mine, not the man's. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, that's it for now. More later. Happy New Year. My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean. In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, and especially to the government, I'm not happy. And if she drops the word abused or anything along those lines, the American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any allegations that she makes. And the man's side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil, controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude. And the narrative quickly, instantly becomes me bad, she victim. So the fight that we're having, that's still there. Okay? That's always going to hang over my head. I'm a passport bro. I brought her here. I married her here. I signed all the government forms saying that I will support her for a minimum of 10 or 1,000 years. I don't know. I don't even know what I signed. And all you dudes out there who have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Americanized means weaponization of the male-female relationship to benefit the female, because family court is not a judicial system, it's a corporation. For profit, digging into the pockets of dads, of men. Because, yeah, we're in a patriarchal system and men still have most of the money. Now, that's exactly what's true in our relationship. She doesn't have any money. I have all the money. And it's, a relationship can go south when the woman has lost love for her man and she's just going for the bag. And if she goes for the bag, she's going to get a huge portion of that. That's what I mean by Americanized. Jayan is solidly Filipina, and that comes with a lot of stuff. And one of those things is she's going to be fiercely defensive for her family, her mom and dad. And this whole fight is hinging on the fact that I disrespected her mom and dad. Never mind that they disrespected me too. We'll get into that later. But Jayan is not Americanized in that she's materialistic or even greedy. But she senses and she knows the support that she would get if things really got ugly between us. The American system is on her side, not mine, not the man's. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, that's it for now. More later. Happy New Year. It's the morning of New Year's Eve. Tomorrow will be 2025. And Jayan and I, we still haven't spoken. But last night I saw Race and Rocky after an appointment. I brought home McDonald's and I just put it on the counter and I sat on the living room couch. And Race came down first. I didn't even know he was where he was. I didn't even know he was behind me. He came up behind me on the couch and just tapped me on the shoulder. And then Rocky came down the stairs. And she shouted, "Papa!" bounced down. Both of them climbed up on the couch with me and just started jabbering away. Been a week since I'd seen them. And I moved them to the kitchen counter and I busted out the French fries and the McNuggets and they gobbled it up. I had texted Jayanne that I was going to be bringing home McDonald's for the kids, and she gave a thumbs up to that, so all was good. And then after they wolfed down the more fries, Rocky said, up, up, which means she wanted to get down from the stool. And then she took my hand and she led me to the living room where we have a big movie screen, and she jumped up on the lazy boy and Race joined us munching on more nuggets, and I put on Monsters Inc. and we watched a movie for about 45 minutes, and Rocky got tired and she scrambled back upstairs, and Ray stayed with me until he fell asleep. So I carried him up and I put him down against Jayanne's back, and I left them together so they could sleep, and I came back downstairs. Of all the comments that I've received on the last video that I did, the ones that stand out are the people saying that I neglected my children on Christmas. I didn't neglect them. My staying away and my staying downstairs is to honor the separation, but it's also for everyone to see what that means, what that separation means. It was intentional. And I am heartbroken by it, but the stakes are high, and everyone needs to act with intention and clarity. So that's an update. Thank you. Somehow my ex-wife got dragged into this story as the sponsor of everything that I'm broke, and my ex-wife paid for the Disney World trip, the airfare, and everything. And that's interesting because we just worked out the bill to reimburse her because she did book the Disney World trip as a matter of convenience. But I owe her back $803.80 minus the airfare that I paid for her to go over. But in that conversation with my ex, gave her an update on what's happening with Jayanne and I. And at the end of the conversation, she said, "You guys are liars." I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "You're making this up. You know, you're just making up this drama for views. You know, you both like social media, and it's just bullshit." And I said, no, we were liars before this. We were kidding ourselves before the Disney World disaster. You know, we were putting out there that we were this perfect couple who had beaten the odds, that we could overcome the age gap, culture gap, power gap, and everything else. And that I, late in life, achieved my dream of having children, and she achieved her dream of getting out of poverty. Now, that was the lie. We were liars before this, and now we're facing the truth. And the truth is, yeah, we have the fundamental problems of any marriage, but we have completely different expectations. We had different expectations of how life would go with this, you know, massive challenge before us. And I've always believed, and I do believe Jan believed, that it was driven by love. It doesn't override the transactional nature of our relationship, the way every relationship has transactional natures. But it's gotten really real because Jay and I have been talking, and she's going to go back to the Philippines. Here's the letter. Hi, baby loves. I'm writing you a letter to tell you formally that I will go back to the Philippines on my second trimester, second week of April 2025. I know that it's going to be hard on you, me taking the kids back to my home country, but I think it's going to be the best decision to work our falling relationship. I would also like to have a written letter that you are allowing me to take the kids, allowing me to take the kids with me. I don't want to be in a position where I am being accused of something I have no intention of doing. The kids will be taken care very well with my family's help, as well as me during this pregnancy. I hope this time frame being away would also help you to focus on your work and business, Jayan. So the plan is she will go back because she will get better support from her family there. Because here in Hawaii, it's just us. It's just two parents, raising two toddlers and now, a third on the way. Well, it's scary. It's scary for both of us because, for me, it's if it's a willing departure, then I trust that she comes back. She wants to come back in the final trimester and have our third child here in Hawaii because it's better to have a child in America. That's a good part of being Americanized, I guess, because our first child was born in Manila and he contracted meningitis in the hospital and was in NICU for 14 days. And then she's trusting me to take care of them, provide them with everything they need while they're there. And the hardest part will be, for me personally, being away from my children. And I know it will be hard for Jayan because, I'm very bonded to them. They're very bonded to me, and she enjoys seeing that. That's what a family is. But it's also the reason why the Disney World trip happened and not her going back to the Philippines because she was homesick. I know she mentioned in an earlier post that I reneged on an agreement that she could go back for a couple of months. And the real reason I reneged on that is because after I'd agreed to it and actually booked the tickets, I was going to be without my children for 3 months. And it wasn't a bad renege or, cancellation, because all I said to her was, just picture yourself being without Race and Rocky for 3 months. And it was settled that way, to be continued with something else. And the something else was the Grand Disney World trip. And I'm going to talk about that again. Because I want to give more explanation as to why I was rude and disrespectful to her parents, but it's late, and I just need to process what we're gonna do, and we've got 4 months to figure it out and refine it. And I hope Jayan chimes in on the situation. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an update. I am safe and the kids are safe, and I just wanted to thank all of you for your positive comments, supporting me through this process. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I am not setting up any GoFundMe or any donations. It's because I don't want to disappoint people, and part of my culture as much as possible, especially you have children, if you can work things out, just work things out. Since the day that I shared my side of the story, we have been talking, and also we came up to some resolutions and conditions that now that I am 6 weeks pregnant, I am going back to the Philippines on my second trimester. I know it's not a good idea for me to go back to the Philippines because something might happen, but for me it's really important for me to go back. It's because this is also one of our problems, one of the root of our problems, that me longing to my home country and him thinking that I don't like to be in here. So we're just resolving little by little. I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission, and this needs to be discussed. So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works. Honestly, I'm not the typical Filipina that's sending money to support my family back home, and I cannot send any money because I don't have it, first of all. And also, my family have a business in Manila. We have businesses there. Our parents sent us to a nice school growing up, so basically we have the money growing up. And I honestly have to say this, that I have eaten really great restaurants back home than here because it's really expensive here. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you everybody. Hi, Americanized Filipino wife here. I just wanted to give you an update since Chad to Dad went out with the kids to go to the park. This is my best time to engage with you. I just wanted to apologize for not engaging and posting too much. It's because if you know, the first trimester is really difficult, and I have 2 toddlers that constantly want my attention, and just a mother that keeping up with all of the mess that they did, by the way. And also, I am so overwhelmed with all of the videos and all of the tags and all of the comments saying their 2 cents, and I cannot really cope up. I didn't really realize that I will get too much of this attention, and I'm just really overwhelmed right now. I just wanted to clarify for the second time, I am not going to set up any donations or GoFundMe. It's because I think that there's right people that needed it more than me. It's because with your follows, with your support, you already changed my life. It's because I just wanted to give you an update that I'm already monetized. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. With all of the attention that I am getting, I cannot stop thinking of what is gonna be my voice, what's next to me, how am I gonna use this platform to educate women to have their own money. It's just, I just felt that I was given a responsibility to educate women that you need to have your own money, or you need to have your own skill. So if there's uncomfortable situation, you can easily get out. And to all of the Filipino that is defending me, I just wanted to say maraming salamat. As in, sobrang full yung heart ko kasi nararamdaman ko kayo, at sobrang, oh my gosh, naiyak ako. Sobrang thank you, as in sobrang salamat kasi alam mo yun, kahit na malayo ako, nararamdaman ko yung suporta nyo. Just wanted to say thank you.